going on, guys? Before we get into the video, I just want to thank you if you're still subscribed to me. If you're a new subscriber, thank you for subscribing, even though I haven't uploaded any good content in a long while. I have a good excuse. I no longer live in California. I have moved back to my home state of Texas and have been extremely busy, but I am getting back into it now. So the channel name, as you might be able to tell, has changed from Aces High RC and Airsoft to Aces High Hobbies. Reason being, right now I don't have anywhere to consistently play Airsoft. So the Airsoft content is going to be not as frequent as I would like, but eventually I do plan on getting back into Airsoft and reviews and stuff. But for now, I'm just gonna kind of share all my hobbies with you guys. And again, I appreciate if you're stuck around during my hiatus, and thank you for being subscribed. And stay tuned for more videos. If this isn't your cup of tea, maybe something coming up will be. So thank you guys, and we'll talk to you later. What's going on, guys? Aces High Hobbies here. I apologize in advance for any wind noise. I got the garage door open and it is windy. So I just wanted to make a video for all you first timers who may be working on your first go-kart project. This is my first go-kart project, or project of this kind, and I just thought I'd share some do's and don'ts and what I learned along the way, and a few hindsight subjects here that we'll talk about. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun making this run and working on it, and it's been really frustrating at some points too. So this is a Yerf Dog 3202. I purchased it locally from a kid who had nothing going on for it at all. It had an old Tecumseh engine on it that came on the go-kart. Did not run. The pull start was broken. It was just rusted up. For the most part, the engine was no good. So I bought it with the intention of buying a new engine for it and getting it running, which I have done successfully, but not without trial and error. So yeah, let's just get started. I'm going to start on the back here. The engine I have on it is a Harbor Freight Predator 212 Hemi. This is the 6.5 horsepower engine, and it has a 30 series torque converter on there that I've been having some problems with, and I'll get into that here just a bit. The frame I bought with the intention of not having to do any work on the actual frame itself. Unfortunately, when I purchased the frame, I missed a very big detail, and in hindsight, if I would have noticed this when I was buying it, I wouldn't have offered as much as I did, or I would have passed on it altogether. But just something to look out for when you're going to start your car project is the swing arm here where the motor mounts. This was cracked, this was cracked, and some welds had come undone. I took it to a local car shop, and the guy there was able to just glob some weld on there for me and call it good. It's starting to crack again, so just something you got to look out for. I bought a welder myself, so I'm going to try to fix that here in the near future. So the engine here itself, this cart comes with a driven pulley on the motor mount here. If you get the 30 series torque converter, you don't have to use that driven pulley. You can use the one that comes with the torque converter itself. This is a size 40 chain for the Yerf. Again, this is Yerf Dog 3202 is a size 40 chain, and the band the band brake that goes on the rear is a 4.5 inch. Just make sure if you order one, you get a 4.5 inch, because I got a 4 inch by mistake and it was too tight. I couldn't get it on there, so I had to put the old one back on there. But I got a 4.5 inch waiting to install. I'm going to do that as well. I did get it running with the new Predator 212. The break-in process was pretty easy. Mounting it was pretty easy. But it was very, very bumpy. The motor is very shaky as it is. It's a very shaky motor, but with the old cart like this, it's been left out in the weather. Everything's super rattly. It didn't help when I was driving that the suspension didn't work at all. The rear suspension was completely seized up. So I went ahead and ordered these. I think they're 320 millimeter shocks lengthwise on Amazon. I got a set of 2 for the rear, and now I have some actual suspension. So that livened up the cart a lot, made the ride a lot smoother. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed driving it a lot more. It's just, that's a must upgrade from the OEM shocks, which are pretty much just springs. They have nothing going for them. And like I said, the back ones were seized up, so they wouldn't even compress. Might have been because of all the rust and stuff, but who knows. The pull start on the engine, you have to take out the bolts here and rotate it this way so you can have a clear pull from behind. These are nitrogen shocks, so they're a lot smoother. You can adjust the dampening here and the spring tension and all that, so that's cool. Let's work around the front here. The original throttle cable that came with it was not here. The person I bought it from gave me an aftermarket throttle cable. I had to make my own throttle cable rig. I don't recommend doing this because it's kind of jank. So if you can avoid doing this, please do. But I've tested this over and over and over and over. I've put plenty of hours on it. It's not going anywhere. Basically, I got an L bracket from Walmart. I straightened it out. I ran the cable through one of the holes. I zip tied it to where it's very solid. That's loose, but I mean, I got to replace the bolt down there, but that's coming in the near future too. So yeah, this is the most important piece. So make sure it's going to work. You know, worst case scenario, that bolt breaks off and I hit the kill switch. Also make sure you head up the kill switch, because if something goes wrong and you need to kill your engine, you just flick that down, your kill switch is gone. So the way I have this set up is I put another angle mount here. I drilled some holes, and then I drilled out the end of this, and then we attach the throttle cable right here, runs all the way back, and it just runs up here to the side of the engine, and it works. Make sure if you do something like that you're getting the full range on the throttle lever. Otherwise, you're not going to get enough power to get the cart moving. But yeah, that's pretty easy to do. You got something you can test with the cart off. The brake assembly came fine on this one, but I did end up putting shocks in the front as well, and now it's just a much better cart overall. It handles very well, a lot better than it did before anyways. I'm sure it could have some improvement, but it is an old rickety cart, so I still got to do some tightening on the front end. There's a lot of slop in the steering. The tie rods here, make sure these are tight. I recommend using some thread locker for those, so they don't back out here on the tie rods, because if those back out and your tie rod starts spinning, your toe is going to be off and it's going to handle weird. So that's one thing I noticed when I first got it, is the toe was off. One wheel was straight, one wheel was crooked, so that's something I had to fix. The seat they gave me with it, so it's a brand new seat. I didn't have to pay extra for that, but I did have to order some seat belts. And these are mid-cart seat belts I got from GoPowersports.com. These seat belts are they're a little big, they're a little long, so what I did is I ran them from the back just to cut a little bit of slack off of them. And make sure you tighten these down all the way to where this doesn't move, otherwise it'll be rattling like crazy and it's going to drive you nuts. I've just put a piece of duct tape over the top here so that it doesn't have any friction on the sharp metal or any rust. I did that on both sides, so that's good. We got these pool noodles from the Dollar Tree. They're $1 a pop. I think I spent about $6-7 total, just to including trial and error, just to get all that on there. So yeah, that's good. And let's see, what else am I missing? Just trying to give you guys helpful tips in case you want to try one of these projects. I highly recommend doing it. It's lots of fun working on it, but it's more fun riding it. So yeah, I think this thing gets about 25-30 miles per hour tops. It's not super fast, but I don't recommend getting anything bigger for a cart like this, especially one that's old and rickety, because it's probably just going to fall apart on you if you try to put it under too much pressure. Oh yeah, in order to get this on and off, you're going to probably need a bigger socket. I went on Amazon and I ordered a custom socket. Here it is a 24 millimeter socket, so you'll need that to work on the driven pulley for the torque converter. This engine's doing well so far. I really like it. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm gonna put links to everything I bought in the description. Oh, one more thing. The driver pulley here, I'm using the one off the Tecumseh engine that it came with, because the one that came with this whole assembly didn't expand and it didn't grab the belt, so I was only getting like 5 miles an hour. Put the old one on there, it's good. I'm gonna put a link to this in the description, but if you can't afford the Comet version, like the high quality one, get the Comet 30 series torque converter. just to save you some trouble. Luckily, that old driver clutch works for me, but otherwise I would have to return this whole thing. Oh yeah, and when you're mounting this to the engine, you're going to need to do some modifications to the mount here. Here at the bottom, there's going to be a little tab. It's going to come out the bottom. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's going to get in the way of of mounting the motors. You're going to have to grind that off with an angle grinder. I bought an angle grinder at Walmart for 20 bucks and was able to grind off the little piece of metal right here in order to get this to fit properly. Also, you'll need to remove a screw right here from the motor. There's a little heat shield. You'll need to remove a bolt right here. It looks just like one of those, but it's right here. You need to remove a bolt there, and you'll need to smash the metal in with a hammer just a little bit. Either that, or you can grind off this piece too. This is what it looks like on the bottom. You can just grind that off with a grinder. I recommend you do that in case you need to return your engine if you have a new engine. If you have an old engine that's out of warranty, then don't worry about it. But it's just minor modification. That's not a big deal. I'm sure you could still return it if you needed to. But yeah, just grind that off and then grind the one off on the opposite side. And you should be good to go. Like I said, I'll put all the links to all the stuff that I've put on this in the description in case you need anything. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to help you out from what I've learned, which is a lot. Like I said, this was the first time I ever did anything that wasn't electric. So, yeah. Say hi to Lula. That's my dog. Come here. Come here. Close it out for us.